Hey, YouTube believers. Chris Mack coming at you today with Batman number 90. And I'm so thankful that James Tynion IV has taken over Batman because we've finally gotten what Batman is supposed to be. You know, a good story with the mystery. Because, Batman is the world's greatest detective, and not the world's greatest existential crisis man. Tom King. But anyway, this was a great book. This is the first real appearance of the designer. We got a cameo, I believe it was in '89 when they introduced the punchline, but this one finally reveals him. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And in the last couple of issues, Deathstroke had his own team. I can't remember all of them. I think it was Cheshire. What's Green Arrow's villain? Merlin? Yeah, Merlin. And some other ones that we went over, like Dr. Teeth. Ooh, but anyway, that whole thing happened. And in this one, we kind of get the fallout of Deathstroke trying to get his team re-rallied. And what's funny is he's trying to hell his team. And right here he goes, Cheshire, Merlin, Gunsmith. And then we see this voiceover go, sorry, Mr. D. Can't come to the phone right now. Want to try another number? Who the hell is this? And how the hell are you in my earpiece? And it's like, well, you see, each of those bat doohickeys comes equipped with communication blockers. Pointy Ears himself said it was overkill to throw so many your way. So who are we talking about in their Dark Designs Part 5? We'll get into that in a second. First off, let's talk about who made this awesome comic. We have James Tynion IV writing, Jorge Jimenez doing the art, Tomeu Morey doing the colors, Clayton Cowles doing the lettering, and then as you can see, everybody else here associated with the book, and Batman was created by Bill Finger with Bob King. And so we come to find out that it's Harley, and she's like rocking this like faux PS4 controller. And she goes, but Harley Quinn's an overkill kind of gal. And Slade's just like, that's right. Bat says they're chock full of non-lethal ammunition, but rubber bullets still welt pretty good. Particularly if I hit you in the face. Who wants to bet that I can shut that other eye real easy? So, I mentioned this in the last issue. In terms of like dialogue and characteristics, that's Harley Quinn. Where she's jokey, but she's deadly. She is a femme fatale. She's not a holy magoy la blockatoli, from the Harley Quinn series. It just, every time I read that, my brain hurts every single time. Anyway, I'm still not a fan of these new outfits that they've given. I really wish that we can go back to the Jester look because that's just classic Harley. And we're treated to this in the first couple, the first page, and I'm like, oh man, I would love to see more of this. So you're just kind of like, because this is it. That's it. You're like, dang. But nonetheless, we have to address what happened in the last issue where Catwoman finally reveals her relationship with the designer, and she says, I'm sorry to Bruce, because Batman knows something's up. And he's, he doesn't give away everything that he knows because that's just how he is. So Selina starts to kind of go through and explain her relationship and how this could affect them. And what I like is right off the bat, she goes back in time because she goes, I have to go back to the beginning. And she's talking about how in the beginning, everything was more simple. She goes, there was kind of more of a innocence to it because she liked the danger of it. She says right here, she goes, back then, danger had a different connotation. Danger meant I might get a bruise that would be hard to conceal out of costume. Mostly, it was exciting. In that D, the designer, I had heard the urban legends, the legend of a master criminal, a man who concocted the greatest crimes you never heard of. So I like that they talk about the Silver Age, kind of implementing the Silver Age without being too much on the nose. She's just saying when she first started out, it was more innocent. But then the designer calls the Riddler, Penguin, Joker, and Catwoman. And she's talking about this is kind of how when things started changing and getting more complex. And so they're ferried over to this place called the TARDIS house. And I like how you just start getting elements of horror here because, they're all talking about, why are we going, over on a boat? Selena's like, in the boat, man, what the hell have we gotten ourselves into? And I like how, I believe it's Penguin saying an apt choice of words, my feline friend. Hell, indeed. And just this ominous look of this place. Just, you know that something bad is going to happen. Beautiful work by Jorge and the art team here. Just absolutely gorgeous. And it really sets the tone of the book. And I kind of like how it's sort of at a Dutch angle. It's not just a full-on, just kind of has this nice slant to it where, you can kind of feel like you're actually looking up at this bad boy, as you can see here in this angle. Like if you're looking up at it, and you're just like, whoa. And of course the Joker is just like, and then this is where we are introduced to the full appearance of the designer, which I actually think he's an interesting character because he's, in a sense, very charismatic. Selena actually mentions that he's more like a businessman. But yeah, TARDIS. I looked it up. And it means like, I guess it's in Greek, if I could talk this morning, which if I do not have enough coffee. If you guys want to, hook me up. I could use another 5 cc's of coffee at the moment. But anyway, in Greek mythology, it means like deep abyss. So again, just like Penguin just said, a very apt choice of words. Hell, indeed. And check this out. The Joker is just kind of really kind of, what do you call it, busting the designer here. And the Penguin's just like, show some deference, Joker. We're in the presence of a living legend. Ho, Ozzy. I thought this was going to be boring. I didn't realize you got us tickets to the circus. The clown, prince of crime. Your reputation precedes you. Well, that's the whole point of a reputation, isn't it? I haven't the faintest clue who you are. And see how it seems like the designer is like a very patient man, how he's just kind of looking. And then the Joker just kind of spits in his face in a sense. And I just love this very low-key, again, angle. And you just see the slightest hint of red that the Joker's already testing this guy's patience. And so Selena goes back to talking about how in the beginning, Batman was hard and whatnot. And he said when you got the boy, meaning Robin, you started tempering your anger and wanted to be more like a role model. And then she talks about, again, in the beginning, she goes, if a person had the skills and a colorful costume, they could rob a bank or a vault for the thrill of it. And sure, they might have to tussle with a dynamic duo. But on a good night, they might get their hands on a diamond the size of a bull's head and fleece it for millions on the black market. And they'd put the money back into better equipment, a better costume, better tools to outwit you. So she starts to explain how this is sort of like a cat and mouse ordeal. Now, I like how, in a sense, the designer echoes this when he's talking to these people about how he wants to help them basically reach their full potential. Because that's what he's invited them to TARDIS house for, is he wants them to reach their full potential because he sees what they can do, but they keep falling short because of Batman and how they always want to, as she said, outwit. And so he gives them a story of how he came to be. And he's talking about how his nemesis always thwarted him. He goes, in time, I wasn't plotting crimes for personal gain, just like Selena was talking about initially. She goes, I'm simply trying to beat the damn detective at his own game. Which is where a simple truth presented itself to me and changed my life. And so he meets with all these villains, showing how they could reach their full potential, how they could think bigger and go beyond instead of trying to always be one step ahead of Batman. And Selena's talking about how we were all excited about this. She's like, the plans we were setting, Bruce, you could never imagine, nor would you never have seen them coming. Well, the designer meets with the Joker, and all of a sudden he just says, "Kill them all." Now what I like here is Selina says, because she doesn't know what happened, but I want to read this part because it was just too good not to. She goes, "Imagine being the first one to understand what the monster was going to become," meaning the Joker. "Imagine going step by step from diamond magnets to Jokerfish to gassing entire buildings to murdering countless families. It must have been like staring into the abyss, Bruce. Realizing that the strange crime boss with clown makeup could keep going and adapting until he became something apocalyptic." And so I love how they just kind of start to make the Joker bigger than he really could be. And the Penguin's like, "What have you done, you treacherous clown?" "I told him a joke. He didn't think it very funny. Then he tried to kill us. I just saved your life, Ozzy." And so Selena and all them are saying, "Well, maybe we could still do this." And they're like, without his financial backing, there's no way. And so again, we get another ominous feeling of the TARDIS house, but this time it's on fire, which is really kind of shows, to me, this may not be what the art team was trying to show, but to me it kind of shows foreshadowing of what's to come, which we've already read, because this is the past that we're in right now. And I love this use of classic. I think this is like painting, because if you can kind of see the way that they use the brush strokes here, just very gives you that sense of dread and loneliness. And Selena's talking about, imagine just seeing, she says, something in him changed, meaning the Joker. That night, his eyes, they were different than they'd ever been before. It was my first time seeing what kind of evil he was going to become. And so the book continues, and they kind of talk about what Selena's plans were. If you're interested in what that is, please make sure to support your local comic shop and pick up Batman number 90, because this was a really fun read. Lots of horror elements into it, the old school 70 comics that tells of horror and stuff when they enter a TARDIS house. And it's just really, you feel that dread, and you feel uneasy while you're reading it, but nonetheless you're enjoying it and you're engaged, which is what a good story will do. And the art team, oh man, it helps so much. The way, very much that classic painting style, unlike the memories and the flashbacks, just really helps enhance the story, because that's what the art does, is it enhances and helps drive the plot. So anyways, I just said, if you guys have enjoyed this review, first, please make sure to support your local comic shop and pick up this book. If we're at the time of this recording, if we're all still locked up, call your local comic shop and see if they can do curbside or they can mail it to you, etc., so forth. If you're in the future and watching this now, please make sure to take time out of your day to go to your shop and pick up this book. And anyways, as I said, if you enjoyed this review, please make sure to take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know, especially since we had to start over. So it really would mean a lot to us. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little bat bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love to just have a dialogue with y'all and hear your thoughts and interact with y'all down in the comments below or on our social media pages, which I will make sure to leave the links down in the description below. And with all that said, I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.